Hey, Gramps, what you doing?
Hey, hi, Cullen. How are you?
Good.
You know what? I was just working on my magic telescope because I want you to go to the inner planets today. Do you think you could do that?
Yes, totally.
Oh, wonderful. Hey, I got another job to do. So I'm going to
Again?
Yes, again. So I'm going to let you take over and do your thing with the inner planets.
My gosh, Gramps.
Take care, Colin.
Guys.
These are the 4 planets of our inner solar system showing their relative sizes: the Earth, Venus, Mars, and Mercury. This is the position of our planets on May 1st in our solar system. They look very close, but the Earth is 93 million miles from the Sun. To give you an idea of distance, if you took the fastest passenger jet plane from the Charlotte airport, it would take you more than 17 years to get to the Sun. You'd better take a big lunch. If you were 10 years old when you left, you'd be 44 years old when you got back. And then in just a moment, showing the movement of the planets from May 1 until the end of June, with the comet going by, always showing the tail pointing away from the sun. And then following that, pulling out into the solar system, showing you a lot of green dots moving in the same direction as the Earth and Mars. This is the asteroid belt. Our first stop will be Mercury, the closest and the smallest planet in the solar system. Let's land. Mercury, named after the Roman deity of speed, is the fastest planet in the solar system, traveling over 110,000 miles per hour, going around the sun once every 88 days. It has a super thin atmosphere. It's covered with meteor craters and has a sun side temperature of 840 degrees with a shade side temperature of minus 240 degrees Fahrenheit. The day of the week, Wednesday, or Woden's Day, is named after Mercury. And an interesting thing about Mercury is its core is cooling, causing Mercury to shrink. Our next stop is the planet Venus. It's named after the goddess of love and beauty. Well, Venus's atmosphere isn't like that at all. Unlike the Earth, where the clouds are made of water vapor, Venus's clouds are mostly sulfuric acid, very dangerous stuff. And on the Earth, the air pressure at sea level is 14.7 pounds per square inch, and Venus's atmospheric pressure is over an amazing 1,300 pounds per square inch. The surface temperature on Venus is almost 900 degrees Fahrenheit, hotter than the planet Mercury, and would easily melt metals like lead, tin, and zinc. To give an example of conditions on the surface, 2 probes from the Earth landed in the early 1970s. Both were destroyed by the atmospheric conditions on the surface, one in less than an hour and the other in about 2 hours. Some interesting facts about Venus. It takes the planet 225 Earth days to go around the Sun once, but 243 Earth days to go around one time on its axis. You could say that a day on Venus is longer than a year. As a matter of fact, Venus is rotating at only 4 miles an hour at its equator, so you could fast walk quicker than the planet is rotating. By the way, the Earth is rotating at more than 1,000 miles an hour. Another is that Venus spins in the reverse direction of the Earth. Scientists believe that Venus originally spun just like the Earth, but the sun's gravity pulled on the atmosphere and flipped the planet upside down. The sun is very powerful. The Earth, my favorite planet for a vacation, sometimes called the blue marble. We can see why with the reflection of sunlight off the ocean as it spins in space. Some information. The magnetic core and atmosphere of the Earth protects us from most of the harmful radiation from space. The Earth travels in space at about 67,000 miles per hour, taking 365 and a quarter days to go around the sun once. Your birthday is determined by how many times you've traveled around the sun. The Earth is the most dense planet in the solar system and the only planet to have just one moon. There is so much more to explore, but we're off to look at the red planet Mars. Mars is the only planet to have two moons, Deimos and Phobos. These look more like chunks of rocks and not spherical basketball shape like our moon. Gravity is slowly pulling Phobos closer and closer to Mars. In about 50 million years, the gravity of Mars will rip it apart and turn it into a ring around the planet, or it could even crash into the planet. Let's go and land on the planet. Compared to the Earth, Mars is much smaller, with only one half the diameter and much less gravity than the Earth. A 100-pound person would weigh 38 pounds on Mars. A mountain called Olympus Mons, at 72,000 feet in height, is the tallest in the solar system. Mount Everest on the Earth is just over 29,000 feet in height. Mars is called the red planet because iron dust from volcanoes covering the surface combined with oxygen to make the rust color. At this time, Mars is the only planet inhabited by robots. There have been 14 missions to the surface, with Curiosity rover and InSight lander still in operation. Water has been found on Mars, which will be extremely important if a manned mission to Mars ever takes place. Well, it's time to return to our home, the Earth, from our visit with the inner terrestrial planets.